In this episode of the Sonny and Schar podcast, we talk about Manchester United defensive assets. Are they back on the menu for FPL managers? We talk about, is the switch between Foden and Cherki a valid one? We then go into our key battles in our league and deliver the infamous Manager of the Month rewards. And we finalise our team news going into Gameweek 19. Welcome to the Sonny and Schar pods. How are we? Alex, we're not joined by Ben today, unfortunately. He has a very sick family, as I know many families actually at the moment are sick over this time of the year. But yeah, his kids are very sick. He's actually very sick, so he is taking a break today just to get himself sorted for the new year. So it's just myself and Butler. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. It's that time of year where it's absolute carnage. Like, I don't even know what day of the week it is. I couldn't tell you. There's football on, but we're going to be releasing a pod today or tonight or tomorrow morning. It's probably going to go out after I've edited it today. So I think that's Tuesday, which means you're not going to get one on Friday. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
It's one of those, isn't it? It's that time of year. It is that time of year. There's actually footy on at the moment as we record this, the start of the Gameweek 19 fixtures. 4 games have kicked off. Arsenal just about to kick off and United. So we'll give you some updates, hopefully, throughout this.
We can only apologise that this is coming out after kickoffs. So the fantasy chat probably doesn't relate to this week. It relates more to the coming weeks. I'm not going to lie, I'm looking forward to January where things settle down again and we get back into normal game week fixtures. And
it's hard to keep up with it, isn't it? It's really hard to keep up with this time of year. Like it's been madness, isn't it?
Especially when you're doing shit.
Oh my God. We'll go into it now.
Talking of shit.
Fuck's sake. Honestly, come on. Just give it to me. Get my team up now.
Should we have a look at your team first and then...
Fucking miserable. Absolutely miserable. 38 points.
38 points. Game week rank of 9 million.
I don't know. We actually got a little. I put a little thing on the TikTok. I did it yesterday or the day before. Me realizing that Butler was talking about my game week rank a week ago, not actually where I was in the world, but me realizing that I was 8 millionth in the world in my rank.
That's 2 weeks in a row, mate. That you've done that.
I'm 9 millionth. And do you know what? I was actually so happy with this team before, and then when I saw the teams and Charlie, who I was playing against, didn't have Ekitike captain, then Haaland blanked, I was like, yeah, we're in.
You've had a pretty solid bench, to be fair. There's a nice 19 points out there.
Do you know what? Do you know what I was looking at? I was looking at my bench points this year. They are scandalous. They're probably over 200 points now, aren't they? Can you get that up on there?
Yeah, I can.
I don't know where it is. I don't even know if I want to get them up,
points.
To be fair.
Oh, yeah, it is heavy. Look at some of these points you're leaving on the bench.
Recently, it's been hideous.
It is. I don't think it gives you a total. Maybe we'll work that out, but it is pretty brutal down this.
I think it's over 200 points. On that new app we've got, I put it in and I was like 3rd or 4th on the list. It was disgusting. But yeah.
Well, imagine going from 95,000th in a game week to then nearly 8 million and then over 9 million.
Yeah, it's been...
I don't even want to look at mine.
No, it's been a horrible week. But yeah, let's move on to yours. I don't even want to talk about it. I actually got done by Ryan Gravenberch rocking up for the first time in about 5 or 6 weeks. It was just hilarious. Do you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't even believe when I saw Liverpool scored. I was like, yeah, cheers. But yeah, how are you getting on?
Mine wasn't as bad as yours, but I did take -4 to get Ekitike in. And it meant bringing in Mukiele as well. To be fair, if I hadn't done that, I would have been way worse off.
Yeah, you would.
Because I think I brought them in for I think it was for the game week before I got rid of Ben White, who'd been injured, and then I also got rid of Thiago. So that then meant I could get these guys in and kind of mix up with it. I suppose I was very thankful that Fulham Anderson kept a clean sheet and Wilson got his standard assist. I was thankful for that. But again, as probably a lot of people did, I think I read a stat somewhere that Dubravka was the most benched player in fantasy this week, and he got probably the most points in the game week, didn't he? With
I think he
11.
did. I think he did. Yeah. It was ridiculous. Fair play to. I saw people actually. A few people in our league did it, and I thought it's a bold shout, but fair play. And actually, Burnley should have won it. They missed 2 absolute sitters in that game against Everton as well. Dubravka was a masterstroke. Again, I had Dubravka and Aiden Heaven on my bench for a nice 19 points.
I mean, for me, it's not been as bad as your 2 weeks. I mean, I was 5 million and then 7th and a bit million, but I mean,
pretty grim reading still, isn't it, for us?
My points on bench aren't as bad as you. Apart from I had a 32 back here in game week 9. But yeah, it's not great reading for either of us at the moment. But I did win the commissioner's battle this week.
You did, because Ben had an even worse week. He got 35.
So if we get Ben's team up. Obviously, Ben's not even here to defend himself, but
no, he's not.
We'll get it up anyway and have a quick look at his team from last week. But he had a dismal 35 points last week, and he's still sticking with Ramsdale, which has been a disaster tonight because we've seen he's not even started. But he was lucky, really, that Verts rocked up this week. Good differential. We talked about him.
Yeah, good shout.
The week before as a Fernandes replacement, so that was a good shout coming in. But apart from that, again, he had Dubravka on his bench. But even then, it was pretty grim for Ben. 10.2 million. Only 12.7 million people play this game. So the fact that he was up there in that game week.
Where's he in the world now? He must have gone
30th. He lost 15,000 places, which it's not too bad, I suppose.
Mate, I lost like 300,000 places.
Yeah, I think I lost about the same. So it just shows how tight it is and where we are compared to where Ben is. But I mean, look where he normally finishes each week to then go and 10 million. We know he's not here to defend himself, so we won't slate him too much.
We won't go in too much, yeah.
No, but yeah, not a great week for us three in fantasy, to be totally honest. It was not a great week in fantasy. It was a pretty drab week. Yeah, some people in our league were getting 60 odd points. I know. Just like, how have you done that?
I know. Just going against the trend, like the Everton defenders came good, but again, that was so lucky. If you actually saw those 2 Burnley chances they missed against Everton,
I know.
It's just a classic. If you see 0-0, you think, it was a dead rubber, and then you actually watch the highlights and think how lucky those people were to keep cleanos with Everton defenders, because a lot of them got bonus as well.
Well, we'll just give a quick shout out for people in our league from last week. I think Connor got 61 points, and as he said, like he had Michael Keane, which was a huge 10, and he had Dubravka in his team. Great from him. That's 20 odd points from 2 players there. Shout. He picked up 61, which I think was a game. He was just under 1 million in terms of that.
Is that Jesus?
And then we also had Trav, I believe, didn't we?
Yeah, Trav got 60, I think, didn't he?
So Trav got 60. Again, he had Michael Keane. He also had Gravenberch, who bagged a goal, which made some people fume.
Me. Absolute joke.
He's still sticking with Semenyo. Interesting. We'll talk about that, I think, in a bit. I'd just like to pick your brain on that. And then we also had Trotty getting 63, but he did triple captain Ekatike for 15. Again, he had Gravenberch and Semenyo. He also had Calvert-Lewin.
Did he?
Who is also on a rich
He's on
an
absolute madness, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah. But yeah, good. Well done to those 3 in our league getting over 60 points. Apart from the rest of us, there were some of us down there. I think Dave got 23.
Yeah, I saw that. Was miserable. We'll go into
which is pretty grim.
Yeah.
But yeah, there we go. So in terms of the commissioner's battle, not great. And in terms of our league, it was pretty grim as well. Grim reading last week.
Yeah, I think I've won. I was chatting to Charlie. He was messaging me. He played me. I think I've won 3 out of the last 10. I don't even want to know what yours is, because yours is probably worse than that, is it?
Oh, what, my form?
Your form.
Do you actually want to know what my form is?
I don't know if I do, mate.
I think I've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've won 3 of my last 10, 11, 12, 13. I, I, I'm in a pretty horrible place at the moment.
Yeah.
I've won 3 of my last 13 games. That goes all the way back to game week 6. But I did win 2 in a row in game week 10 and 11. But since then, it's 1 in my last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's horrible, isn't it? That is horrible.
Yeah, and a lot of single pointers in there that I've lost
losses.
by.
Yeah.
But what can you do? You can only laugh at it.
That's it.
Otherwise, can you imagine, mate, if I was laughing about this, the state that Wimbledon are in right now as well, watching them at the moment is, I've been to 2 games this month and they were both grim. And then last night we got beaten as well by Exeter, who was second bottom at home.
I saw that goal go in and I was thinking of you when that went in.
Oh, Jesus. I'm glad I didn't watch it, and I'm glad it wasn't on telly, and I'm glad I didn't go, because by the sounds of it, it was dreadful. But there we go. I've now got to go with Pete's and Trav next on Sunday to watch us play Wickham, and that can only get worse.
Yeah, you're in a box, aren't you? Aren't you in a box or something? Trav sorted your box.
Yeah, we're in a box. Yeah, we are. Yeah, thanks to Trav for putting us in a nice box at Adams Park.
That'd be decent.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the football might be shite, but last time you went,
it would definitely be shite the way we're playing.
Did you watch it? Was it a 0-0 when you went last time to Grimsby at home?
So I went with Trav
those two? Yeah.
No, I think we lost 1-0. Whenever I've taken people to Wimbledon, we've never won.
Yeah.
Well, I've been a few times and we've won a few, but at the moment, mate, we've only got 2 points from our last 8 league games. It is grim at the moment, and we haven't scored in 3, and 2 of those were at home. 3 of those were at home, so it's not great. Yeah,
not good.
It's not good. We've got 2 tough away fixtures now against Leyton Orient and Wickham, so God knows how the rest of this week's going to go for that. But let's hope fantasy gets better, shall we?
Yeah, let's have a little bit of fantasy chat then. So, let's talk about Man United. We haven't done that probably at all this year, apart from Bruno, really, and Cunha the other week. But Manchester United defensive assets, are they back on the table? I think they kept their second clean sheet of the season the other night against Newcastle, which is crazy. But 3 of United's defensive players returned with double-digit hauls in game week 18. Top of the list was Patrick Dorgu with 17 points, registering a goal, a clean sheet, and 10 DEFCON points to get his 2 DEFCON points, as well as maximum bonus points against Newcastle. It was actually really interesting as Almiron played him on the right of the midfield 3 behind Sesko. So, as like a right winger, he's actually a great option there. And I think that's where he actually plays most of the time for Denmark and where he played a lot of games for Lecce last season or the season before he came. So what I just wanted to go through is I think it was an unbelievable individual performance from him. If you actually watched the game, he was everywhere. Well. Yeah. He was unreal getting back. But just a couple of stats from the game. He had 57 touches, 74% pass completion, 6 ground duels, 5 clearances, 3 fouls, 1, 2 crosses, 2 take-ons, 2 tackles, and a goal. I'd say it was one of his best individual performances in a Man United shirt, definitely. And just going into the fantasy metrics, still only 4.2 million, only 7.9%. A great little gamble in the short term as United have Wolves at home tonight, Leeds away, then Burnley away in the next 3. Actually, it was interesting. Dorgu was currently the 5th highest selected captain choice this week behind Wirtz, Cunha, Ekitike and Haaland, and was classically triple captained by one manager in game week 18. But yeah, what do you think about Dorgu, mate? Is he an option or is he one of those that if you didn't have him in your team last week, is there any point jumping on the bandwagon, or do you look at the fixtures? What do you think?
I don't think if you compare to the rest of his performances at United.
Yeah.
I know you said he's been playing like the wing. He played on the wing. I I don't think you jump on him. No, I think. I mean, who am I to say?
Yeah.
If I suppose what I would say is, if you're playing in a head-to-head league like we are, I think there's a lot less risk taking a punt on him as a differential
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
in a,
agreed.
in your one-off head-to-head battle for that week. However, if you're doing this for points, I would say no, probably wait to see again how he gets on tonight, playing in the same position,
Yeah, he is. I
and
just saw
then
that he's
and then
playing in that front three, isn't he? Yeah.
yeah. So let's see how he gets on. I know Wolves is probably a bit of an anomaly because they're probably the worst team the Premier League's ever seen in terms of how they're getting on.
Yeah.
Um, but let's see. I think he's one of those to maybe watch and see. But I wouldn't. There'd be other Man United. Again, Man United do like to concede.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and
It
with him
was it
playing
was
on the
mad.
wing, but he's still classed
Yeah.
as a defender in the game. I don't know how much that actually helps you.
Yeah, no, I quite like it. And what I quite like about him is if you were going to go straight into your wild card from next week, he's quite a good little fifth defender at 4.2. That's what I quite like about him, the price. Like he's not
Yeah.
4.5, he's not 5. So if you're looking for that, like we said, the 4.0s, the 4.1s, the 4.2s, he's not a bad little shout for the next couple. Another one throwing himself in the mix again was Lisandro Martinez. So he also scored 10 points in Gameweek 18 with a clean sheet, 2 DEFCON and 2 bonus points. It was his first start of the season after a long time out with an ACL injury. So the centre-back picked up the injury in United's 2-0 home defeat by Palace in February and underwent surgery that sidelined him for the rest of the 2024-25 season. So I think Lisandro Martinez says the near year-long injury recovery from his anterior cruciate ligament entailed months of suffering, uncertainty, anguish, imbalance. But if you actually watch that game, I thought he was immense against Newcastle. Like, I think him being back is making that whole defensive unit and United defensive assets so much more appealing. Like, he reads the game unbelievably well, so aggressive in the tackle. And if you actually saw his range of passing the other night was frightening. Like, he's just a small little fella, but I think now that I actually quite like that United as a 4 now
They
with
didn't. They
him
didn't
and
play him in defence though, did they? Or did they? I
who?
thought.
Yeah, yeah, he
Fin-
was. He was at the back with Heaven, wasn't he?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was Shaw, Heaven, Martinez, and Dallo. I think they're the same tonight. But like, if they can keep that back four, like we'll go on to Aiden Heaven, sorry, in a sec. But I'll just see if it's the same back four tonight. Yeah, it is. So if they get a bit of stability with Lammons behind, Martinez, I thought. Did you watch it? Did you see any highlights of it?
Yeah, I know. I watched it. I watched the game. I thought Newcastle were very, very poor, and they made United
Yeah,
look better than they probably were. Again, I think you'll watch them against Wolves tonight. If you're watching that, I wouldn't say, "Oh, let's see how good they're." As we said, Wolves are dreadful, right?
yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah.
not. I think again, he's another one where, yeah, you're right. He did play really well against Newcastle, but again, let's see what United do next on the weekend
Yeah.
and see how they come out of that before we start jumping on some of these players' bandwagons. But I mean, yeah, as you say, it's good stability for them, and that can only help them really. And it's the fact that Amarin's saying now that he is changing their formation
Yeah, yeah, no, I know.
because the media are no longer talking about it. And he was like, I didn't do it originally because I didn't want to give in to the media. And I was like, okay, fair play to you. Like, fair play, because you're now tweaking it around and actually you've proven you're actually a pretty good manager. And they are starting to look a bit more fluid and better. And actually, what I think he's doing well, actually, is he's really starting to play to realise what his players' strengths are
Yeah,
and play into those strengths.
yeah, they definitely look
As
more
you say with
comfortable.
Dogu, is chucking him out on the wing. That's probably a
Which
stronger
I mean,
place than him at left back.
if that's his position, like why is he playing him at left wing back if he's played a lot of his career at right wing? Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't get it. Like, you're so right, and then just I think why I'm mentioning these United defenders is the prices of them, because no one's got them. Their prices are so good, and I think
Mm.
these price points, if you're looking at wild cards and like fifth defenders to like rotate, I think they're really, really good options. Like, just going on to Aiden Heaven, like a little shout out to Aiden Heaven, like started his 4th game in a row for United, playing 90 in his last 3. I thought against Newcastle, very mature performance from the 19-year-old in centre of defence alongside Martinez. So he scored 8 points, clean sheet, 2 DEFCON. I personally think he's definitely one to look at. He's 3.8 million. Incredibly low ownership. So he's actually gone under that 4 million starting point. And I actually got him in last week because I was trying to get Ekatike and Cunha, but I left it too late, so I didn't have 0.1. So I actually sold Esteve, and I was going down the really cheap defenders, and I saw Heaven, and I was like, Heaven's 3.8, but he's actually been playing. And he was on my bench last week, but I put him in this week. So I actually dropped O'Reilly. We'll get into it later. I dropped O'Reilly for Heaven, so massive gamble, but like he's a great one to rotate in and out. And I think looking forward, if he starts to play well, I'm just going to keep him in, particularly for these next 3 fixtures. But when I saw his price at 3.8, I was like, that's a no-brainer, really. Looking for that fifth.
I think if you're looking to play an early wild card, he's one that you'd throw in there on the cheap, wouldn't you?
Straight away, like it obviously it allows you then if you want to still stack out those 4 defenders, you can. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Stack out the 4 midfielders and do what you want. But having a 3.8 defender who's starting every game, and the way he played against Newcastle, if he keeps another clean out tonight, they're not going to drop him at 19, are they? He's going to be fit as a fiddle.
I think Maguire's still out for a while as well, isn't he? So there's still this still a lot of question marks over when some of the actual defenders are going to be back. So yeah, I think he'd be out of all of them that you've mentioned, he's probably the easiest one to get in your team because he costs nothing.
Yeah.
What's his? Did you say what his value is right now?
What his ownership
Yeah, what's his ownership? But his actual fantasy value is it still 3.8 or is it gone up now?
I think it is still 3.8. Let me just have a quick check. But he's like when I got him in, he was 0 point something owned. Now he's I think sort of like 3% owned.
Okay, yeah.
Let's just get him up here. Evan, yeah. So yeah, still 3.8 mil, and he's 2.6% owned.
I think that will only increase.
Yeah, agreed.
Especially now that people are getting wild cards back from right now. I think you'll see that go up in the next few days.
I'm praying for a clean sheet because he's a massive, massive differential in the game. Again,
100%.
Me putting him in tonight is probably cursed him. Do you know what I mean? But like.
It's about time that Wolves won a game, isn't it?
That's what I mean. Well, you keep saying that in our chat, to be fair, and I'm like, they are shocking. Like, they are shocking. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, we spoke about the other day at golf. Like, I reckon me and you could play centre mid for Wolves and do a job. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know about that.
You just sit in the 6 and I'll do a little bit of running round you. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can do that.
I think that's pretty disrespectful to those professional footballers that they've got in their team.
But like, again, like we said, 2 points, 2 points in 18 games. Yes, they've done better recently. They've actually done better against the better teams. They did well against Liverpool. They did well against Arsenal. But it will be interesting tonight how they get on. Obviously, it's
watch
20
them win 1-0.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes in now, and.
Yeah, I've got it up in front of me.
Looks like a pretty miserable game so far, but we'll see how that gets on. But
these games in the midweek are always, you never know what you're going to get. There's already been a load of goals. You just don't know who's going to rock up. But
no.
Yeah.
Right, we'll go on to just a little bit of City. Ray and Cherki, Phil Foden debate. Cherki registered his highest FPL point haul of the season in Gameweek 18 and 3rd double-digit haul of the season with 13 points against Forest on Saturday with a goal, assist and 3 bonus points. So Cherki started his 4th game in a row for City and is becoming a very appealing asset now in FPL with his improved minutes. He's only blanked twice in his last 9 games and has 9 goal involvements with 8 assists and 1 goal, which I was quite amazed about. But I put here, I wanted to discuss it with you quickly, mate, but is the switch from Foden to Cherki a genuine option moving forward into the new year? Foden's now 9 million and Cherki is still only 6.7. So you would be saving yourself over 2 million straight away. I think the strongest City midfield at the moment has them both in. So if you can get them both in your team, I think that's an excellent template to base your fantasy team around those two moving forwards. And obviously the issue is, like myself, I've got O'Reilly at the back, but I'm actually looking at getting rid of him and getting Cherki and Foden both in midfield because
I think there's a bigger question here around
yes,
the fact that Semenyo is about to join City. I think it's not whether you bring in Cherki for Foden. I think Pep Roulette is going to start. There's no way they're going to buy Semenyo for 65 mil and just sit him on the bench. There must be something that Pep really likes about him.
Yeah,
because they don't need him. Let's be totally honest here. City have so much wide depth that they don't need him. What does this mean for the likes of Doku? You know, Savinho, all these guys. What does it mean for these guys?
So true.
Like, and I know Cherki's in great form. Foden's kind of dropped off slightly. I would love to get Cherki in my team because he does look phenomenal.
He's a fantastic footballer, isn't he? He is a baller.
He's got the flair. He's very much got the flair, and he's the type of player that will create something out of absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
He's been in fantastic form, and I wouldn't be surprised to see people swap him for Foden. Not at all. But I think the Semenyo question is the bigger question of. I have no idea, looking at that, how this all fits together now in their front. How the hell are they going to get all these guys in around Haaland?
Do you think they'll do? Do you think he'll do
consistently?
Do you think he'll do Haaland and then have the three behind Semenyo, Foden, Cherki, and then like the Bernardo Silva, Gonzalez, or Bernardo Silva, Reinders, or Rodri? Because you got Reinders as well. Remember, like I think Reinders can play a bit deeper, but if you play
but then what do you do? What does that mean for Savinho and Doku? What, he's just not going to play them now? They're going to sell them? Like Doku's not a terrible. It wasn't that long ago that we were talking about getting Doku in your fantasy team.
Yeah.
He's not even playing.
Unfortunately, he just got injured at the wrong time, didn't he?
And that's now where they now sit. I don't know. I think we need to. One, it's funny that Semenyo gave away a penalty tonight. I saw that. Probably his last game for Bournemouth.
Did you see he got an assist for that long throw as well? Did you see that?
I saw.
United had just scored, I think.
Oh, have they? Please say it's Cunha.
I'm praying. I'm absolutely praying. Come on, Mateus.
But while we wait for that to come through,
Joshua Xerxes.
Of course it was. That player that no one has in their fantasy team.
Classic.
Of course. But yeah, I don't know. I think we wait and see. I think you wait and see. Yeah, wait and see, and then we'll go from there.
Just a little, just to finish the old fantasy, a couple of bits. I just wanted to shout out Kevin Schade.
Yeah,
top point scorer in Gameweek 18 with an impressive 20-point haul with a hat-trick against Bournemouth. I actually saw a couple of FPL content creators tipping him for this fixture, I think just due to his price. And I was thinking, Sharda's again one of those. He does that.
Hot and cold, doesn't he?
And hot and cold. But fair play if you jumped on him. I think in this game he had an XG of 2.94 on his own, which is unbelievable for an individual player in a single game. Still only 1.9% owned. So a massive differential. Doesn't have bad fixtures coming up with Tottenham at home on New Year's Day and then Everton away, Sunderland at home. But for me, I'm not jumping on him. Like, yes, he is cheaper, but still 7 mil. I'm not overly impressed, but I just wanted to do a little shout out because fair play to some managers who got on him and a couple who captained him, which we'll get onto in a sec, which is madness. But yeah, 20 points from midfielder. He becomes, I think, one of the 4th or 5th players this year to reach that 20-point mark. I think he may be the first midfielder to do that this year, if I'm mistaken, with the 3 defenders.
It's his second hat-trick, though, isn't it?
Yeah, who else got a hat-trick? Mateta, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's Sharda's second one of the season, isn't it?
I don't know. Did he get another one? Did he? Or was that last year? That was
Or was
last
that
year. He got a
last
hat
year?
trick last season. Yeah, yeah.
But again, that
Um,
just, as you say, he like fair play to him for getting a hat trick, but he's another one that can like blow hot and cold like the wind. And
he didn't even cross my mind. I'm not gonna lie. When I was looking at that fixture, I was like, no.
yeah, I mean, yeah, if you had him, well done. If you
Yeah,
didn't, I wouldn't be surprised that you didn't have him. I think again, it comes down to the bit of the luck in this game that.
mate, absolutely. Like, it's one of those. If you move on someone like that who's such a big differential, like it is so huge. That's why, like, when I put Heaven in tonight, I was like, I don't want him on my bench because he's so lowly owned. And if he does well, I'm gaining a fair bit on people. So
Oh
we'll
yeah,
see.
it's
I'm
a
sure.
huge differential, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure Wolves will bag, but we'll just finish this fantasy section. I just thought I'd put this in for a little bit of crack. You will love this. But so an FPL manager has recently been deleted from the game. So the guy who,
What?
if you got there on like Saturday after the Saturday games, there was a bloke on 122 points after just the Saturday games. But he had 122 points, like I said, but he'd made 9 transfers with a total of minus 32. But his team, so he trebled up on the Burnley and Everton defence. So he had Dubravka in goal, who got 11, Walker Ekdal, who got 6. So those 3 Burnley defenders, defensive assets. Then he had Mikalenko for 6, Tarkovsky 9, and Keane 10. Then he had Cherki, Semenyo, Saka, Schar midfield, who he captained, and Haaland with 2 was the only blank. But it was actually quite funny. I saw a guy on
So
TikTok.
they banned him what? Because he did
I
loads of
think
transfers.
I think they looked in to it because, well, like we said earlier on in this pod earlier on the year, I think some of these managers create multiple accounts to get this team of the week because there actually
Yeah.
is prizes. I think like before that, in game week 17, he was ranked 12,281,000th
So
in the
basically, he's
world.
been taking minus points every week
Yeah,
to try and win team of the week.
I think he only had 331
Oh.
points after game week 17. So he's obviously doing that, but they obviously sniffed it out and apparently just deleted him straight away from the game, which made me laugh because I saw that team and I thought, who the fuck is putting in, or there's some money being passed around somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Brown envelope stuff to get 3 Burnley and 3 Everton defenders for a 0-0. Absolute masterstroke, but it just made me laugh. But I just thought that'd be quite funny, but to put that in. But did you see that? Did you see it?
No, I haven't. But that has opened up a whole new ball game for me. I'm like, oh, how many? I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I'm sure he's not the only manager who's taking a lot of minus points each week to try
Yeah.
and win the team of
The
the week.
manager of
Because
the
obviously,
week,
as you
yeah.
say, there's some big prizes in there if you do win that.
Yeah.
But it's also good that the FPL are looking into that and we're not having people like this win those prizes because they're just kind of not really caring and they're there for one thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, fair play to him for working that out, but also fair play to the FPL for banning him. I think that's funny.
Yeah. It did make me laugh. Because I put it on TikTok. There was one guy doing it, and then I searched it up, and there was not a trace of it anywhere else. It just made me laugh. But should we take a little break before we go into the key battles?
Sounds good, mate. Sounds good.
Welcome back to the Sonny and Schar pod. Right, as you know, we do not have our commissioner in for this and his.
Is it because he lost
dulcet
to Jennings?
I think it might be. We're gonna
Is he
jump
really
straight...
ill?
Yeah, we're going to jump straight into that straight away. The first key battle we're going to go through is Ben, so liveramentally ill with 35 point versus the mighty Canards in Jennings with a 4-1. So I don't know if you want to get their teams up, mate, and I can just do a little bit of chat. Oh, what I had a look into is on that new app we've got, it actually says what players were differential between the teams. So Jennings had a masterstroke of Cherki with 13. He also had Saka and Thiago. So between those three, they got 25 points, whereas Ben had Wirtz and Ekatike. He captain Ekatike, who got 20. So straight away, when I think Cherki scored, Ben put a message into our group and said, "Oh shit, like Jennings is going to beat me," which was hilarious. And I said, "Don't worry, he'll take minus points." But I don't think he did this week, did he?
No, yeah, and I don't think he has for a couple of weeks now. Here was Jennings's team. Yeah, I don't think he has done for a couple of weeks now. So, I mean, Cherky was the difference in this one, wasn't it? That's what won in the game. I mean, look at his
when I saw
bench
that
as well.
go
To
in,
be
yeah.
fair,
Huh?
Tarkovsky on there for 8, Xhaka on there for 6. So I think Jennings was slightly unlucky.
Yeah, do you know what? Do you know who I
one.
think I was going to say about getting rid of now? Like Senesi, absolutely done with Senesi now. I can't believe he actually started Senesi over Tarkovsky in that game.
I know. Yeah, strange one. Yeah, just looking at Jennings quickly, I don't think he's taken. No, he hasn't. He hasn't taken minus points now since game week 15. So
Ooh, here he is.
he's reverted away from his madness of taking minus every week, and he's stopped doing it. So either he's forgotten and he just hasn't given him enough time, and all he's had time to do is his team, or he's just forgotten.
Yeah, I actually said it is.
Masterstroke.
It's actually only Ben's third loss of the season and his first loss to a player that hasn't played a chip against him. Ben's lead has been cut at the top to 6 points with Balfe winning, and Jennings earns a massive 3 points and rises to the dizzy heights of 21st.
Yeah, mate, he's right behind me.
Yeah, he's still on 18 points though, isn't he? Is he or not? Is he on 21 points now?
Nah, me and him are both on 18.
I think we'll go into that in a sec. I think there's 5 lads on 18 points, including yourself.
I don't really want to talk about that. But yeah, talking of Balfe, who obviously closed the gap, he took a big win against Nick. So Balfe took a nice 48 points this week. And he's quietly gone about his business this last month, to be fair to him. He's won 4 of his last 5.
Yeah.
So he's definitely back in the running. Again, he had the likes of Semenyo and Gravenberch, which were game changers this week. He also had Thiago in there, who picked up an assist. And it was a big win, really, for him, because he was coming up against Nick. And then, obviously, as we said about Nick, he was up for manager of the month. So this defeat really hurt him. And again, only 38 points this week, with only really Reece James with anything to shout about, who could have made any type of difference for him. He did have 2 other defenders get DEFCON, and Ramsdale picking up enough for saves, but it wasn't pretty for Nick in the end. And a massive win, really. Massive win.
Yeah.
Massive win for Balfe.
It is good. Balfe, like I said, Balfe stays second, but most importantly, closes that gap on Ben. And he's hunting him down, actually, whereas Nick is now in 8th with 30 points, very solid, but sits in a nice position, Nick does, going into 2026. He's done really well recently. He's had a massive climb up the world ranks. That was a very much a blip, because his average points this month have been absolutely unbelievable, haven't they?
Yeah, they really have.
But yeah, shout out to Nick. I think he's actually on his honeymoon now. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, he's in Sydney currently, so we celebrate
in Sydney,
which is
brilliant, because I'm playing him tonight and he hasn't done his team, which is beautiful. And as I need a win, we won't delve too much into my misfortunes, but we'll go to our third key battle, which is Fraser. Don't delap in anger with 43 versus Gareth.
Another person who is in for manager of the month who got beaten. So all 3 of our contenders, all lost, which is going to make it very, very interesting, because what that's done, as we'll get into it after this key battle, but what that has done is it's brought in others into contention that didn't really think they were in contention. So there could be a spring and a surprise here for manager of the month, but we will we will see.
Go
But
into
yeah,
that in a
sorry,
bit.
over to Fraser.
Yeah, Fraser, sorry, don't Delapenang with 43 versus Gareth. Elevation Army with 49. So Gareth's captain pick of Ekatike and his patience with Antoine Semenyo won in this tight encounter. Interestingly, they both had João Pedro, who returned with 8 points each. But if we actually look at their teams, this is Gareth's team. So quite a nice team.
He's back, by the way. I think we should call that out. He's back.
He is back. He's done a few transfers, hasn't he? I've heard.
Yeah.
Which is good. So shout out to Gareth getting back in the mix. So just shows when he's out and about and he's getting involved, he still knows what he's doing. But yeah, it was Semenyo, really, wasn't it? Semenyo, Ekatike, captain. I don't know who Fraser had as captain, but actually, so it's a massive win for Gareth, who seems to be back involved with FPL once again. He moves on to 18
look at
points.
Gareth's bench as well, by the way. Van der Ven, 11.
I know.
Wilson, 5. Dubravka. I mean, everyone had Dubravka on the bench, but that's huge, isn't it?
Madness, really. But like,
but yeah, Fraser captained Haaland.
Did he?
Yeah.
But he moves off the bottom. He moves up to joint bottom. So if Gareth had lost, he would have been adrift on 15 points at the bottom of the league. But Fraser's 4-game winning streak comes to an abrupt end as he now sits in 12th with 27 points. He's been on an absolute madness, and it cracked me because he put in our WhatsApp group after he beat Peaks, was it last week?
Yeah, that's right.
4 in a row. Again, cursed himself. Do you know what I mean? Runs come to an end. Actually, and we'll discuss it in a sec, manager of the month. I think it was ridiculous, wasn't it? I actually totaled it up, the standings after the Saturday games. And I think they were both, him and Nick, is that right, on 354 points? Is that right?
We'll find out in a minute. I'll let you know.
In a sec. But yeah, do you want to take us through that last key battle, mate?
Yeah, so the last key battle has no effect really on Manager of the Month this week, but it was Andy Jackson with 42 against Jordan Odegaard, 59. Big win for Jordan after we talked last week how he'd really underperformed so far this season. Picking up 59 points is a good result for him. Maybe his luck has turned, but he was playing Andy Jackson. Andy Jackson, I suppose, has been in good form recently, so definitely a good win. So the pick of Dubravka was huge for Jordan, as he was one of the only people in our league who had the Burnley goalkeeper in his starting 11. He also had the likes of Wilson and Thiago, who picked up an assist each. Andy had Saka and Reece James, who picked up 6 and 7 points between them. And then Andy's defeat means he also now sits joint on 18 points with everyone else. All the other managers, including myself, on 18 points near the bottom. Whereas that win for Jordan takes him up to 21 points. So that is kind of now where we sit in terms of that league. Big win for Jordan. I mean, I'll get up our league and the other results as well. So we'll just this is how the league is currently shaping up. So we still have Ben at the top now, but only by 6 points, with Balf coming breathing down his neck. Peaks his 2 consecutive defeats has seen him slip to 3rd. Matt is up still there in the running. Connor, Nixie and Trav all on 33. Nick there on 30 with Rafaro. Mike on 28 in 10th. And this is where the gap is starting to grow. CJ, Fraser and Smithy sit 3 points outside the playoffs. Obviously still a lot of football to go. And then the gap really starts to grow. This is where it starts to get bigger. So you've got Dassy, Dave on 24, Luke on 22, Cully 21 with Jordan and Jennings. And then, as CJ said, we've got these 5 renegades at the bottom here, all on 18 points. Myself, Andy, both to the 2 Andys, Gareth and Trotty. But can we just look at my total points compared to those around me? Which is, I mean, apart from Andy Jackson, who's been in good form.
See them. What are they if people can't see them?
You've got Trotty, who's bottom on 864 total points. Gazzy on 941. Arnie on 944. Andy Jackson on 997. Then you got Jennings above me on 905. And then there's me sat there in 20th on 1,019. So when your luck's not in, it's definitely
not
not
in, is
in.
it?
No. And I think that kind of sums me up. So I think what I wanted to just show here is there is a lovely stat that you can see on this beautiful app that we previewed last week, where you can actually look into people's luck. So we've got the luck index here.
So good.
So this
so
is saying
good.
who's the luckiest managers in our league. Obviously, Trotty, who's had a terrible season, is very, very, very much luck. And then we skip all the way down the bottom here to the unluckiest managers. Second bottom is myself. I mean, what else can you do? As you say, when your luck's not in, it's not in. So it's not looking great for me in terms of the luck index, or for Gareth down there either, based on previous rankings. So yeah, it's not looking great, but that's kind of where the league is. So just in terms of our results, in our league this week, we had Dassy lose to Trav 40-60. Matt beat Peaks 43-41. Farney lost to Trotty 34-63. I lost to Mike by a bare point, but I did take -4, which hurts even more, I suppose, when you take a -4. But as I said at the beginning, I would have been on way less points if I hadn't taken that -4. Miffy beat Nixie 45-36. Charlie beat Usage by a mere 5 points. Connor absolutely battered Rafaro 61-47. Rafaro can count himself unlucky this week that he got 47 and he lost. That sums up head to head. And Luke can count himself very lucky that he got a win with 37 points against an atrocious Dave on 23 points. So there you have it. In terms of our just game week stats from last week, I think most managers either captained Ekatike or Haaland, which wasn't ideal. We had a fair few managers take minus points, but in the end it was Trotty who got the highest score of the game week out of everyone. So talk about luck, but our league average was very low. I think it was 43.5 in terms of total points.
And classic Wolves have just equalised against United.
Of course they have.
Yeah, of course they have. That's
just normal.
That's my heaven experiment out the window. Classic. Like, come on. Who did? Did he?
I think so, didn't he?
He might have done. What, for the United goal?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It hasn't come up on the game, but
well, let me have a quick look on the app. I'll get as I said, the magical app that we've got here. Who are you playing?
Nick.
It says you're on 12.
Does it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he didn't get an assist. He's on 1
No, he didn't, no.
Yeah.
It's not good though, is it?
No, right. Should we move on to manager of the month then before we take a quick break? And then we'll come back and look at the coming game week, that's already started, which makes no sense. So Siege, could you get the lovely manager of the month slides up?
Here we go.
Hopefully there's a bit of animation in here this week. So as we said last week, our league is the greatest head-to-head FPL league around. So you're missing out if you're not in our league. I'll give you that. I gave your brother loads of stick yesterday for not being in our league.
I was out with him today and my cousin actually, and he was saying, I've only listened to a few podcasts. I was like, classic, my family's not even supporting it. Do you know what I mean? Like, but he said he'd be keen. They said they'd both be keen to join next year. So again,
well, we're growing to this, having this two division idea that's coming into our heads. But yes, let's get into it. Let's see who our contenders are, because as I said, we had a bit of a change around due to the fact that Fraser, Ben and Nick all lost. So that actually means that Stu, who obviously hates Manager of the Month based on what happened earlier in the season when he got beat twice by Ben, and he also got beat, to be fair, by Connor, who is also, again, in the running for Manager of the Month. All of them won 4 and lost 1. Obviously, we had a long month with 5 games. It's going to be exactly the same come January. There's another 5 games to have. So let's see where that puts us in terms of points. So, how many points did they store? Ben was in 5th with 316 points at an average of 63.2. So Ben is definitely not in the running for Manager of the Month. Stu was in 4th with 332 points. So unlucky, Stu. Once again, you're not going to win Manager of the Month, and I know you'll be absolutely delighted you're not going to win that. Was 3rd then with 338 points at an average of 67.2, which means we have 2. So who is our winner? Well, we don't know yet because it's a tie. We actually have a tie. Now, we haven't had this before.
That's mad.
We haven't had this before in Manager of the Month, but Nick and Fraser are tied through December, both with 357 points at an average of 71.4. So for those of you that don't know, what this then means is we have our set criteria for Manager of the Month. So it all goes down to wins first. All these guys won 4 games. It then comes down to points. Okay. So now they've got equal points. We then, if that is then equal, we look at their fixture difficulty. Now, fixture difficulty is we will review everyone's total points every quarter of the season and move them round in depending how difficult they are to play. So, Siege, take this nice and slow through the next bit because we've got a bit of animation to go. So for the first time, as we said, this is going to come down to fixture difficulty. So remember, the lower the score, the fixture difficulty, the harder the fixture. So who's it going to be? Well, Nick played Matt. He played me. He played Farney, Smithy and Stu across those. So if you actually look at his fixtures, they were pretty tough. Whereas if we look at Fraser's, he had Nixie, Trotty, Mike, Peaks and Gazzy T. So probably looking at this, you can probably make a quick guess as to who has won Manager of the Month. But if you're not looking at our graphics, okay, it is down now to who gets the lowest score in the fixture difficulty. So, Siege, before you reveal it, I'm going to do a little drum roll. And once that drum roll's finished, you can reveal who the winner is. Let me just click play. And the winner is Nick with a total score, fixture difficulty score of 47 compared to Fraser's total score of 74. So congratulations to Nick. What a wonderful early honeymoon period as you move, go over to Sydney. I think you're away for at least 3 months. So maybe that's great for everyone in fantasy, who knows. But congratulations, Nick. Let us know your bank details and I will transfer you over the £15. Congratulations for being our 5th Manager of the Month for the Sonny and Schar
congrats,
League.
mate. That, to be fair, shout out to Fraser as well. Like 357 points across 5 games is absolutely ridiculous. Like averaging over, if we go back to the averaging over 70 points for 5 weeks straight is seriously impressive. So massive. And to be fair, Nick, I think, has been the one who's been shining out in our league in terms of points, and he's just been in battering. And actually, it was really he had such a blip last week with that 38 points, and it's really cost him. But it is what it is, mate.
Can you imagine that it's come down to that, eh? That we came down to fixture difficulty. Great.
That's right, what this is about.
Yeah,
that's
true.
What this league's about, mate, isn't it?
Our league is so hard, mate.
That's mad. It's so competitive.
Yeah, I can speak from experience that I'm the unluckiest manager in our league.
Yeah. I'd say you're definitely up there. Yeah.
Anyway, right, what we'll do is we'll take a quick break and then Siege and I will come back and talk about Game Week 19, which, as we've already stated, is already underway. We'll look at the key battles for the coming game week. And then we'll also do our little team reveals of our teams for this week as well. So we'll be back in a minute. Right. Well, welcome back. So what we're going to do first, we're going to have a quick look at our fixtures for this game week. So I'm just going to quickly share my screen and show off the Sonny and Schar fixtures for game week 19. We have picked out 4 of the key battles this week. Can I get them all on screen? I think I can there we go.
Just about.
So these, just about. So I think we're looking at Nick coming off his fresh after manager of the month. He's got usage. So we thought, well, we might as well keep the ball rolling. Neither of you scored great last week. I think you've got off to a good start this week, apart from Heaven conceding already. So that's that out the window. But that's our first key battle for this week. Siege, your form coming into this isn't looking great, is it?
Miserable, mate. Miserable.
Yeah.
3 wins in 10, as I stated earlier, which is after 6 wins in a row as well, which made me laugh because I've seen the actual overall stats of the league. I'm still second in the most wins in a row, I think, with 6 behind Ben, who's got like 9. So yeah, it's a big game for me. Just to sort of keep in touch with the playoffs. And I've had a nice little start. As we said, Nick's in Australia, and he currently has in his team, let me just get it up myself. He currently has Ramsdale, Rice, and Waltermada in his team, who are all not playing. And he's got Van der Marsen as his sub goalie, so that's going to be no points. So,
nice.
Yeah. We'll see.
Lucky for you. We'll see. It should be a quite a good one. The other one we're calling out is Jordan versus Dassie, which we've got at the nice top here. Now, Jordan comes into this, as we said, coming off a nice week last week. Dassie himself is not in great form. I think he's lost his last 3.
Yeah.
He's only won 1 of his last 5. So it wasn't a great December for Dassie. However, he does love responding to things in the WhatsApp group. So we thought, why not we talk about him this week? I think he's around in the UK, so maybe we'll try and get him on the pod next week before he goes back to Thailand. We'll see. But we're going to call Dassie out on that one. The other key battle we've got coming into this one is Matt, who we already know has taken -12 coming into this week. He took -8 last week, -12 this week. Jennings, I believe, hasn't taken any minus again, but Jennings is on a little bit of a bumper where Matt is kind of struggling a little bit. I think Matt's lost he's won 3 of his last 4, 3 of his last 5, however you want to look at it. So not too bad for Matt, but for Jennings, he's won 1 of his last 5. So this is going to be interesting. But Jennings does come off beating Ben. So,
he does. And he's getting used to his not taking points hits, which is good. And actually, Jennings, that's probably going to win you more games. However, I don't want to stop your method. I don't want to stop your blueprint, but it seems that your blueprint is not working, mate. Just stick to your guns.
Here's Jennings' team for this week. He's already off. Tarkovsky's off to an absolute flyer.
What's he on?
8 points already.
I was going to get him in, I was going to get him in.
So Jennings is on a nice 13 points already. And then if we just go back and look at what Matt's on, remember Matt took -12. So he's currently on 17. He has played his bench boost. Remember, this was your last week to use chips before you got new ones. So that bench boost is proving quite nicely with Semenyo and Gordon both getting assists. But Keane obviously not playing is going to probably hinder that bench boost.
Is he not playing, is he?
No, he's not even in the squad. So that's 17. So Matt currently sits on 2. It currently sits on 5 points. So it's already going to be quite a tight one. And then our last key battle, 2 people that we don't really talk about on this pod that we should probably talk more about, especially Mike, since he is our defending champion.
Yeah.
He goes up against Dave. Dave comes off an absolute howler week. With 23
points. Oh,
Dave, we haven't heard from you in the group for a while, so let us know you're alive. But looking at Mike's team, he's off to a solid start again. He's got Tarkovsky in there and Gordon with the assist. So Mike's off to a good start with 17, but he did take -4. So he's currently on 13. Whereas we look at Dave, who comes off, as we said, comes off the back of a 23-point week. He's currently on 7, and nothing is kind of going for him currently at this stage, but most of the games have only just gone by half time.
Yeah.
So quite a few good games to look into there coming up for game week 19.
Yeah.
Right. Before we finish, Siege, should we look at our teams for this week?
Yeah. Let's do it. And actually, we've got a nice little live.
Do we actually want to, though?
Oh, go on. Get mine up. I know I was just bragging about Aiden Heaven getting him in, but like, how are you conceding against Wolves at home? I'm gonna look at the stats.
Well, we'll get yours up, and then
get mine up. Yeah,
we'll
let you
we'll let you talk through it, and then while I'm getting mine up and talking mine through, Ben wrote us a lovely little message as to why he picked his team for this week. So Siege, if you could get that up after that. So Siege, talk us through your team for game week 19.
So yeah, Sanchez in goal. His points are starting to dry up, so I'll be looking probably to move him on at some point. But I do quite like having a Chelsea defensive asset. They're just like Butler said, there's goals flying in left, right, and centre this week. But my massive conundrum this week was who I played at the back. Did I go back 5? Did I go back 4? I actually took O'Reilly out. I was trying to think, like, Gay's not been doing very well. O'Reilly. The thing with O'Reilly, he's not very good for DEFCON. So if they do concede, he's getting 2. And like last week, he got 1 because he got booked. So I thought, if Sunderland do score, or if Palace and City both concede, Gay's more likely to get DEFCON, was my thinking. And I went with Heaven just for a bit of differential. It hasn't paid off, but I do quite like having him in there just for that option, just for the next few fixtures. Virgil, I need to get rid, but you can't get rid with Leeds at home. Like, the bloke's been awful at 5.9. Timber I put in last minute. He's fit, which was good. I'm thinking of swapping him for Gabriel, straight swap next week. And I'm looking at putting maybe Tarkovsky, but we'll get into that next week. And the midfield, I'm actually really happy with the midfield on paper. Like Gordon, Cunha, Foden, Saka. Like, Gordon already got an assist tonight. But again, he's not quite delivering. But I do like the fixtures, so I'm going to keep him. Cunha, me and you are praying that he actually does something. Saka, again, that game looks pretty miserable. What's the stats on that? To be fair, Arsenal had 7 shots. I think that's going to be a 1-0, maybe Arsenal. Hopefully Saka scores. Then the 2 boys up top, like Ekatike, didn't perform against Wolves, hoping to against Leeds. I did read a stat that Leeds do concede quite a few chances. So I think Wolves are maybe a bit more compact now, whereas Leeds are a little bit more free-flowing. And then I actually moved the captaincy from Ekatike to Haaland just to match up with Nick, who I'm playing again. Didn't fancy a rogue captain again. But yeah, that's me, mate. Not doing too bad at the moment. What about yourself?
So I'm not, in terms of fantasy itself, I'm not doing terribly.
You're not doing too bad, are you?
I'm in the top 2 million, but which is top 10%. But in terms of head to head, it's not been great for me. So I've stuck with Martinez. He was a bit of a rogue choice bringing him in, but that was after the back of you doing your goalkeeping chat, and he's not really done anything.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. Absolutely had me in tears.
He's not really done anything for me, if I'm honest. And I'm very tempted at playing a wild card next week, or to just get rid of some of this deadwood that's just not really performing for me. Really happy with Anderson, so I've kept him in. He's been pretty solid, picking up DEFCON recently as well. As you mentioned, Gurley's a bit of an understatement. I considered bringing in Mukiele over O'Reilly, based again on what you said, but I thought City probably, you never know with Sunderland. They've been okay recently, haven't they? Couldn't for the life of me bench Harry Wilson after he got that assist against West Ham the other day. I know they're playing Palace, but Palace themselves are looking very leaky at the moment. So that's why I've kept Wilson in. As I said, I need Cunha to bag to help me be my differential this week. I've just seen Walter Marder's just come on for Newcastle. I would be absolutely delighted if he could get a goal or two in the second half against Burnley. That would make my evening. We'll go from there. If I'm honest, my team on paper does not look bad, but I'm happy to hear what other people want to say about my team. Let me know. Give me your thoughts. Reach out to us on Instagram or on TikTok or whatever. Just give us a shout. I'd be intrigued to see what people think of my team. But yeah, it's not been great for me. But we'll see. What can you do? You can just hope, can't you?
That's it, mate. That's it. And I'll just go through Ben's team here. I'll just take you through it, then I'll just say what he wrote. So he's got Ramsdale in goal, a back four of Timber, Chalobah, O'Reilly, Virgil, Van Dijk. He's got a midfield three of Rodgers, Wirtz, and Foden. And he's got Haaland, Ekitike, and Voltemade up front with Haaland captain. So he said he was sticking
There's a Minter on the bench for 4 points there.
Who?
Minter on the bench for 4 already.
4 points. So he said he was sticking with his 2 Liverpool transfers in for favourable fixtures. So Wirtz, Foden, and VVD are my differentials against Farney, who has headaches in midfield with a surprise injury to Rice. Ekitike versus Haaland captain should be interesting. He said headaches for my Newcastle assets with Ramsdale, aka my biggest mistake this season, being dropped for Pope. Also, Voltemade benched as 2 and have decent fixtures, but Wissa now in the frame. So, yes, his team, I think he's got that treble up of Liverpool, who he's hoping actually pull through for once. So there's Ben's team. Like Butler said, Minter's already got an assist on the bench, but will probably only get 4 points.
Rodgers picked up a nice yellow as well, so currently sits on 0.
Who does?
Rodgers.
Yeah, I saw that. So like I said with Rodgers, like he's gonna do those. But like I said, he's outperforming his XG so much. Like he can't possibly continue what he was doing. But again, it's if you've got him in at the right times, he's an absolutely unbelievable asset. But he's gonna do what he's gonna do. As in terms of that, he's going to get his 1-2 pointers, but he will get you his massive hauls. But yeah, a very interesting game week. And actually, 6 fixtures tonight, isn't there? Then there's none tomorrow. Arsenal have just scored as well, and there's 4 on New Year's Day. I think the remaining.
Who scored for Arsenal?
Let's pray it matters. Saka. It
doesn't matter if it's Saka because Peaks has got Saka, so it means nothing to me.
It's not coming up just yet. Jurian Timber would be nice.
I doubt that.
Gabriel.
Did he actually score? But my wild card is being played right this minute. As soon as we finish this pod, as soon as this pod is finished, wild card.
I was actually going to do it.
In comes Palmer, in comes Gabriel.
Yeah. No, it's a good time to wild card, but oh gosh.
Oh Jesus.
Everton's 2-0 finished, so
yeah, Tarkowski assist and clean sheet, I think.
Assist as well?
No, Defcon, sorry.
Yeah. I think Pickford's getting a massive haul as well. I think Smithy's got Pickford. He's got 10 or 11 points, 12 points, I think. So
well, just looking at our league, I'm just looking at the live scores.
Yeah, what's the live scores saying?
I'm 13-4 down to Peaks already.
That Arsenal game that goal's been VAR'd, so
mate, Trotty's on 15 points already.
What's he on?
But he has bench boosts though.
Does he?
Yeah. So he's had Minter come off his bench for 4 points.
Yeah.
But Smithy did have Pickford, to be fair.
Did he?
Yeah, for 10. So that's pretty solid. Balf's off to a stormer on 20 points already.
20 points. Who's he got? He had
Pickford. Yeah.
Has he got Gabriel?
He's also got Gabriel, so he's on more than 20.
That is some shout getting Gabriel in, to be fair.
Yeah, really good. But yeah, there we go. Not looking great for me again, but hey ho, what can you do?
That's it, mate. That's it.
Especially now Arsenal have scored and I had Martinez in goal.
Oh, Gabriel, I cannot believe he's bagged.
Oh God, I really need my Fulham boys to rock up again. Otherwise, I'm in a whole world of hurts again this week. Right, Siege, Happy New Year.
Yeah,
have a
Happy
good
New Year
one.
to all our listeners. Just a little shout out if you can subscribe on YouTube, follow us, leave some comments. In the new year, we'll be trying to engage all our listeners a lot more and get you guys asking questions, and we can go through some on the pod. But yeah, leave comments on our TikToks, on our Instagrams. Yeah, and just thanks for supporting everything this year. It's gone from strength to strength, the pod, and yeah, we're really enjoying it. So Happy New Year, and here's to 2026.
Yeah. We're not coming back this week, are we? Before the game week on the weekend?
No, I don't think so.
No, we're done, are we? We're done for this holiday. We'll come back after the weekend, shall we? Who scored?
Let's just see.
Oh no, Gimenez.
Was it?
Yep. That's amazing for Jennings.
Right, mate.
Oh, I thought he was what Armada. Right, may the fantasy gods be with you. Have a good one.
See you, chaps. Happy New Year.
It's the Sonny and Schar Fantasy League.
And even though Son has left for the MLS,
our head-to-head league is still the best. Hosted by
Alex,
Ben,
CJ,
ABC.
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
it's another fantasy podcast.
Oh, fuck me.